and welcome in to be our guest. And we are delighted to have with us Senator Jack Williams. Jack, you are from the Mobile area down in Wilmer, and this is going to be a fun segment. But first of all, not just you being a senator, but tell me something about what you actually do in your real life.
Well, in my real life, I came up on a farm, was there all my life, got married young. Of course, my wife and I, we ran 250 fair to finish operation on hogs, which usually averaged about 3,700 running all the time. I got 5 litters every 2 years out of one of the sows. We also ran cattle, row cropped, done hay fields, so we were real diversified. In 1984, we bought our first nursery, trying to diversify more, and it was a small nursery that was run down, no plants on it or anything. And within the next 10 years, we built it to a 160-acre nursery. And then in 2004, we bought one of the largest nurseries in the state out for $5.2 million. So we've came a long ways. And my son still runs the nursery. My grandson's running the cattle farm. So we go in and work. If I'm there, I'm working all the time when I'm home.
Well, what I think everybody that I run into that knows you talks about what hard workers you and your wife Bobby are. And I'm telling you, what I love is people who have made this with their hands, with our agriculture, in our dirt, in our state, and people who care about it, and people who care about everything that has to do with our agriculture and our beautiful state. And we've got something, we have fun with our program, and sometimes we'll bring you kind of interesting things, but things that you need to be aware of, because something, probably fundraising or bills, are going to come up, and that is about feral hogs, these wild feral hogs, and how they affect your life and my life, because anything that affects our agriculture affects my home and yours. So what are we up against with these feral hogs?
Well, we're up against a species that has a new litter. They usually breed in the wild at 5 to 6 months or less. They usually average 7 or 8 pigs, and some of them average more. But they breed back. Their cycle is 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days.
Wow.
So in the wild, from the research we've done, I think they're having 3 litters a year, because they breed right back in the wild. Where tame hogs, we would take them and hold them out 6 weeks, wean the pigs, and then breed them back. But in the wild, they're out there,
right,
and they just breed back right there. Usually within 2 weeks after they have a litter, they're already bred back.
God. Well,
so it's
but
unimaginable.
The damage.
The damage
tell
is
us
in
about
the millions.
the damage.
It's in the millions. I mean, I wish I had the number here, but I've seen one article where it was over 50 million a year in the state of Alabama. I mean, they destroy our creeks, they destroy our crops. There's the only kind of fence that'll keep them out. We've tried double layer electric fence that leans out, and then it has another one right there when they come under. The only fence that really keeps them out is a base wire fence, and that's you go to fencing off a 600 or 700 acre fields, you just can't afford it.
Cost the money.
And like I say, we hunt them at night. We've passed laws where you could hunt them in daylight over bait, you can hunt them at night over bait, and we're trying to get something passed now where even the landowners, and I'm sure it's already there, you can get a defecation permit if you own the farm, and you can actually hunt them during deer season at night, because so far you haven't been able to hunt them at night just during deer season.
Well, I know that like all of our audience thinks, well, you've got these feral hogs and you've got a problem, but how does that affect me? But that's what I love about you. You're looking out for how this affects all of us, when it affects the land, when it affects the crops. So tell us the kind of damage we're talking about here.
They do a lot they root holes so deep it's unreal. They root up the longleaf pines. If you plant a crop of longleaf pine as seedlings, for some reason they like that pine better than any. They liable to hit a row and just go down it rooting them up and biting the roots off of them. They love briars, of course, in briar patches. If there's a little briar patch in your fence row, and any kind of nut grass, they're going to get into it. So if you have a nut grass in your hayfield, even a little clump, they move in on it, and like our hayfields, they just root them up. Of course, the crops, corn, soybeans, there's
right,
nothing they don't eat. I mean, there's I mean, we trap them. Let me go back to the trapping part. We do trap them. We have 2 traps on our farm, 2 different. My son has one, another boy, that we catch. We catch them in. The most we've ever caught is 47 in one trap. We caught 2 years ago. That year we caught over 1,000 hogs in a year, and that's not counting what we shot. There's no way to control them by hunting them. I mean, it's got to be. We've got to come up with some kind of that's going to sterilize them or something. There's got to be something done, and it's out there. It just costs millions of dollars to get any of this approved. We tried to get it approved, and it's millions of dollars that you got to put up. And they say about a 4-year wait on even getting it passed, because we have formed a hog council in the state of Alabama in the Senate, which the Ag Commissioner, Game and Fish Commissioner, and then it's couple of us on the Ag Committee in the House, a couple of us in the Senate, and we're studying it more and more all the time, inviting people to come in and talk to us. And it's not just we think of it as just here.
Right.
But the thing is, I went to Arkansas to a meeting, and they're just as Arkansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana met and had a program on it. And so I drove up there just to see it and see what they were doing. And they're doing the same research we're doing, having it done in colleges and all the research, but it's, they have to do it in a contained area where they do it, on different baits and stuff. But there is stuff out there, but the only way to control them is eliminate them completely.
Gotcha.
Because right now, if you take and you got 100 and you kill 90 of them, the next year you're going to have 100.
So we thank you for taking the time to come in, and you keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you for letting me explain it.
You are welcome, and we'll be right back.